There's a saying that goes, "Never pick a fight with someone who doesn't know when to quit." It's a proverb that applies equally well to individuals and nations. Throughout history, there have been numerous instances where smaller, weaker countries have managed to outmaneuver and defeat much larger and more powerful ones. Often, these are underdog stories of military genius or political savvy that allow these tiny states to triumph over their mighty opponents. And while there are many examples to choose from, here are just a few of the times when bigger really did lose to smaller. Ancient Persia vs. the Kingdom of Urartu. Located in what is today eastern Turkey, Armenia, and northern Iran, the Kingdom of Urartu was a small but resilient state sandwiched between two superpowers, the Neo-Assyrian Empire and the Kingdom of Media. But despite its size, Urartians would manage to hold their own against both for centuries. From around 860 to 590 BC, they were able to successfully fend off attacks by the Assyrians, most notably King Shamshi-Adad V's invasion attempt in 743 BC, during which the Assyrians lost nearly half of their forces. Later, when the Medes took over the region, the Urartians under King Sarduri II were once again able to repel an invading force in 590 BC. Although little is known about the military strategies employed by the Urartians, it's believed that their mountainous terrain gave them a significant advantage, allowing them to launch surprise attacks and retreat quickly before the larger armies could regroup. Additionally, the Urartians were skilled metalworkers and archers, which helped them level the playing field against their larger opponents. As the saying goes, "Beware the wrath of a small foe, for their anger burns hotter than any great tyrant." The Roman Republic vs. the Kingdom of Judea. In the 1st century BC, the Roman Republic was at the height of its power, ruling over vast territories throughout the Mediterranean. Yet despite Rome's military might, the small kingdom of Judea would manage to give them a run for their money. This unlikely showdown began when the Jewish rebels revolted against Roman rule in 66 CE, prompting Rome to send a large force to put down the uprising. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the Jews fought back fiercely, inflicting heavy casualties on the Romans. The Kingdom of Kush vs. Egypt. For centuries, the ancient Egyptians ruled over the region that we today call Egypt. But during the 8th century BC, control of Egypt would pass into the hands of a neighboring kingdom known as Kush. Situated in what is now northern Sudan, Kush had long been subject to Egyptian rule, but eventually rose up under the leadership of King Paye to overthrow their Egyptian overlords and establish their own dynasty. Under Kush's rule, Egypt enjoyed a period of peace and prosperity, and Kush's rulers became pharaohs of a unified kingdom stretching from the Mediterranean Sea to the Ethiopian highlands. Now, several factors contributed to the rise of Kush. Firstly, Kush was strategically located near the Egyptian border, which allowed them to easily launch raids into Egyptian territory. Secondly, Kush had access to natural resources that were not available in Egypt, such as iron ore, which they used to produce superior weapons and tools. Finally, the Egyptians were weakened by internal strife, which made it easier for Kush to assert its independence. While details of the military campaigns leading to Kush's conquest of Egypt are scarce, it's believed that the Kushite army was well organized and disciplined, equipped with advanced weaponry and tactics. Their victory over the Egyptians marked a significant shift in power dynamics in the region and serves as a reminder that even mighty empires can be brought down by determined smaller states. The Han Dynasty vs. the Xiongnu. During the 2nd century BC, the Han Dynasty was a major player in world politics, controlling vast territories across East Asia. But despite their size and power, the Han would find themselves challenged by a nomadic confederation known as the Xiongnu. The Xiongnu posed a constant threat to the Han Dynasty, raiding their northern and western borders and causing widespread devastation. To counter this threat, the Han sent out a series of generals to defeat the Xiongnu. However, many of these campaigns resulted in heavy losses for the Chinese, and it wasn't until Emperor Wu of Han came to power that the tide began to turn. Under his rule, a series of reforms were implemented to strengthen the military and administration, which helped to stabilize the borders and increase the power of the central government. In addition, Emperor Wu implemented a policy of divide and conquer, which involved forming alliances with various nomadic tribes in order to weaken the Xiongnu. He also sent out his famous general Li Guangli to lead a campaign against the Xiongnu. After years of preparation, Li Guangli's forces finally caught up with the Xiongnu and delivered a decisive defeat at the Battle of Jiji in 201 BCE. While the Xiongnu were never completely defeated, this battle marked a turning point in their conflict with the Han Dynasty, and the nomads would eventually be absorbed into Chinese territory. The story of the Han Dynasty's struggle against the Xiongnu is a reminder that even the mightiest empires must be wary of the threats posed by smaller but more agile opponents. And while those are some of the most prominent examples of how a smaller nation managed to triumph over a much larger one, there are plenty more where this has happened. What makes these stories particularly compelling is that they challenge conventional wisdom and remind us that in the realm of international relations, as in life, it's often the underdog that pulls off the upset. Thank you for watching.